we have 8 channels. 1 to 4, vastus lateralis, anteriotibialis, gastrocnemius, iliopsoas on the right, and then corresponding to 5 to 8 on the left side. Here they correspond here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As you see, I have color coded the right side red, the left side blue, as you see here, and they go all the way. And that's one of the things we need to do. We need to make somebody make this for us, this kind of clamp. And I prefer actually the other side of this clamp not to be the alligator clip, but the standard EKG thing, that it just click to it. Okay, it's just open up, and that those obviously this is standard. They just, we need to get something that makes our life a lot easier. Now, obviously vastus lateralis here, iliopsoas is almost growing, tibialis anterior is here, as a matter of fact right here, and gastrocnemius is back here. And first of all, a bottle of alcohol, you go, especially growing, is always oily. Oil prevent passage of electricity, is practically a barrier, is insulation. That is why our nerves are myelinated, right? So first, a bottle of alcohol, clean the area that you are going to put the thing. For our purpose, we will let the people who do their monitoring put their electrodes as they wish. In our cases, we don't have anything that we need iliopsoas, but we will practice it anyway. So, so a bottle of alcohol, not those wipes, a real bottle of alcohol, and one of the blue towels. Literally get rid of all the oily areas. Then we make sure we use fresh ones. How do we make sure of that? We make sure that this gel is fresh and not dry. Okay, they have a lifespan, and if it's too old, it doesn't carry electricity anymore. But then, in that area where we are going to put that, again, iliopsoas, vastus lateralis, tibialis anterior, gastrocnemius, and we will put them about an inch or so away from each other. So the closest they can be will be this. You see, both of them have access to skin. The farthest they should be like this. We don't know if this works better than this. We can find out. We can put, for example, on one side this way, on the other side this way, and then just add it to our protocol. But either way, on the muscle group that we are in, look at that here. The number 1 is, you see at it? The number 1 is the red on the red. Mm-hmm. So here, this is the, and this color coding is, I think, what makes the trick. I really wish we had those clips for the EKG, because that would make it so much easier. Mm-hmm. These alligator clips are not really made for this. So we go to the red one. Here is the red one. Here, that's the red side. Mm-hmm. We have then in the red side we have 4 group of electrodes, right? We have red, blue, we have blue, we have red, we have black. So this is number 1, is the first one. The second one is actually the blue one. This is how I mark them. Blue one is the next. Then the third one is this, and the iliopsoas is 4 here. You see that there? So practically the other side the same way, but it's then blue, total blue one. Okay, so what we do is that we put them on So we cleaned it with alcohol, we put the electrode in, we put it on, and then I would want to put a 3-inch tape on top of it. So, and then everything is connected. Obviously, then we have the same way we will connect the machine ground. The machine ground is black. And then the electrode ground. The electrode ground is green here. The machine ground can go practically anywhere. The electrode ground should go as close as possible to the area that we're interested in. Okay? Like, in the lumbar spine, the machine ground can go anywhere up in torso. The ground for the stimulation should be either in the lumbar spine or somewhere random in the leg. Preferably, we can just, we have to again find out which one is better. Preferably we put this machine ground to the torso, and the electrode, the stimulation ground, like on a big muscle like quadriceps. Okay? So quadriceps or hamstring. Okay, and then literally we have it all set up. It is taped in on both sides. And then what we are going to do on the left side, we are going to first stimulate with a regular machine. Once we have our threshold with the regular machine, we're just going to take 1 minute and then literally run this and then see if the threshold corresponds to this machine. Same thing with the pedicle screws. Do the same thing, understanding that what our thing look like. And here, obviously, this is free run EMG. Right now it's stimulation. Free run EMG, stimulation, and then the threshold goes up until we get our electrodes. And just to show it how it works is that I'm going to do the same thing. I think the pitfalls are, number one, we are using surface electrode, so it has to be very clean, but I don't want to stick the patient with additional electrode. This is practically absolutely no risk to the patient. So here, so which one was it? This is number 1 right there, right? Now we have to change the sensitivity and so on. Okay. And I will have to, you see it changes there? And when no, this is the free run EMG. It was on the stimulation. Okay, now look at that. Obviously, it is some interference with the other things. Like right now, since the other one's just hanging around. You see that now? Only the other one? Only one, number 1. This is, I put that electrode and you see that this is the random activity, but look at that here. You see that there? That's what it's. Now, when we are stimulating, obviously, it doesn't have any of that. These are interferences and so on. And then literally what it does is that it looks for stimulation when it goes in, follows that and gives you the activity of that nerve, that muscle there, which correspond to activity of the nerve. Okay, so what we need is somebody somewhere to make us electrodes that has 18, see, 8 channel, 16 plus 2 ground. The electrode itself, it has its own thing, so that's separate. So 18 channels, color coded, and similar to what I have done. On one side, standard neuromonitoring, please come closer. Standard neuromonitoring. The other side, preferably EKG electrode, because these are extremely inexpensive. Now, buying all of this is going to be, in here is probably a few $100 or hundreds of dollars. Buying those needle electrode and so on, even if you buy it in China and so on, is probably still about $1 to $2 per electrode. So that makes like $25 or more. But these are cents. Like you buy the whole package of this with almost 100 of them, 10 per card, 10 card, yeah. This is like 100 of this. We buy it for probably a few dollars. Okay, so, but the only thing is that once you open it, you see this is sealed. Once you open this, it is sealed. It starts drying out. But I'm sure anesthesiologists have so much use for it. You can always get fresh one. And if the gel is not conducting properly, then you don't get the right signal. Okay.
How do I like once I want to actually stimulate, what button would I push?
So once you want to stimulate, this is free run EMG. You see here? Now you click there. Now it's going to, right now it's stimulating at 3.8 already.
Oh, okay, okay.
And if you want to go up, you just keep going up. Now for nerve, for all of part, we stimulate at 3 milliamp. We go to 4 milliamp, and then we stop. For our study, we will get a threshold for regular system, probably at 5.6, and then we will double check if 5.6 here as well will give up, but we will not go above 6.
Okay.
For the screw, obviously, here, that or I connected to a thing here. This is changing the sensitivity. Okay, but here, page up and down and so on. It should be somewhere here. Huh?
The little knob down there, does that do it?
That does all work. Yeah, here.
Okay.
You can go up and down. You can go, right now I'm going to like 15. 15, 16 is more than enough for our thing for screw. But probably we should go all the way, find the threshold with the other system, replicate it here.
I think 18 is kind of a...
Yeah, here. I set it up that you can go all the way to 25. I put a stop on the 25, that you cannot go more than 25, but officially you can go even up to 30. But I think once we know our threshold, I will set up the threshold at 18, that you cannot go, because after 18, I think we are good. So there's no reason to go above 18, but, and there is a method to do that. I have it in a video as well. Thank you.